Hello everybody, today I'm going to be using 3 new items. I'm going to make my own silicone mold out of silicone rubber. I'm going to make an acorn. That would be a cool idea, make your own acorns. We'll see how it works. So the first item here is the Let's Resin, the mold housing. So I've already put this together. It did come with some tape, and you can make this different sizes. So here are all the sizes. And they say they are 2 inches in depth, so it'll be 2 inches down. So let's make sure this fits in here. That should work. So I'm making it, made it smaller. Comes with the clips. So you get everything in this package. A bunch of other pieces. I'm not going to take them all out for sake of time. I may do another video on that. But I've already made the smallest I can make. So it looks like it makes 6 different sizes. So I've made it this size. And I've got a new scale. It does have a cord. It comes with rechargeable batteries. It seems like it's already charged. So when you mix your silicone rubber, it's supposed to be by ratio by weight. Mix ratio by weight. So you have to weigh this. Low velocity self-degassing super elastic. Alright. So I haven't done this in a while. Here's a user manual, which is good because a lot of things don't come with user manuals. It's by Let's Resin. Alright. So let's go ahead and prepare everything. Put the scale aside for a minute. Go ahead and open everything up. And it comes with a little cap. That's 2 caps, so that's cool. And reseal that so I guess it doesn't dry out. There's 1 cap. There's A and B. Okay, so let's see by weight. So I am not sure how much this is going to be. But I'm going to go ahead and put the tape at the bottom. It comes with this tape. That way it doesn't leak. Just put it upside down. Make it tight as I can. I'm not honestly sure if I'm doing this right, but we're going to find out. That also helps your subject, whatever you put down in there, stick to it. Just in case I get a leak, I'm probably going to put a little mat or something under it. So this says it's double-sided tape, which I did not know this. So let me check something out. I'm going to take my gloves off because this is not working. I did not realize this was double-sided tape, which is fine because I really don't need it but on the one side. So Alright, so I got it flat down in there. I'm going to put the top part down so when you demold it, when you pour your resin, this part you can go ahead and put a different color, maybe black and then brown. So we'll center this. It's moving a little bit. I'm not liking that. Okay, I think it'll be all right. Hold it down for a minute. All right, so let's measure. Put my gloves back on. So I'm thinking these two filled up. I'm going to do 2 separate cups. I know some people don't do separate cups from the video I've seen. They just keep adding, changing you change the tar to 0. So like, oops. Actually, this is the digital kitchen scale. It was only about 10 bucks. It wasn't much at all. And it's a nice size. I didn't want one overly big. So right now, you do this by milliliters, I believe. Let's look at the directions. I would think by milliliters. All right, so unit. So I'm changing this to milliliters. So you can switch this to the grams, kilograms, pounds, ounces, milliliters. Then you hit tar. That will set it to 0. I don't know if I said that right. So you put this on. If your cup's a little bit heavier, you're going to hit tar again because it's going to end up weighing the cup. So I'm going to try about that much. That's 51. I hope this will be enough. I don't really necessarily need it all the way to the top. All right. The cup on here, change it to hit the tar. I feel like if you get too much, at least you can put it back in the bottle. I think if you mix them together, like some people do, they'd hit the tar, hit 51, and then just add the rest. But 1, my cups aren't that big. And 2, I'm afraid if I add too much, there's really no way to take it out. I'm 48. Ooh. You can tell this, see how much more this is? See, I added too much. So I'm going to take a little bit out. Make sure I wipe off the side that I just, when I poured it back into the bottle. I do not want to get that on my scale. Probably need a little plastic piece. So we're at 50. Oh, 51. All right, wipe off the side of my bottle so I put the tops back on without them sticking to them. Now, I almost think I did too much. So I'm getting a regular cup. At least this doesn't smell like resin. I'm not even sure how much work time you have with this. I hope this is going to be enough. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've made a mold. A really, really long time. I made one before of my officer badge when I was a police officer. And I put some plaster inside the mold and made ornaments for all the officers. I think that's about the last time I've ever made a mold. And it's still a great mold. Great, great mold. And they say you can add pigment powders to this. Give it a little color so you can see your mold better. But I'm just going to go plain. I'm hoping I'm mixing this right. Let's see what it says for directions. Go ahead and read these while I'm stirring them up. All right. A minimum quality of part A and B is no less than 30. Okay, so 30 grams. Try to extend the curing time 1 to 3 days. Pour A into mixing cup. Pour 3. Step 3. Pour equal amount of part B into mixing cup. Stir thoroughly 3 to 5 minutes. Pour the well-mixed silicone into the container. Remember to cover the top of the master mold by at least 1/4 of an inch. The silicone may be ripped if you make it too thin. All right, and then after it cures, you can trim the details. So if you end up covering up your subject, you can trim around the little hole. And that's about it. I really, really like this right here. So this is done. So I'm going to put this to the side. I already got a little bit something on there. I'm going to put a little plastic piece on there, I think. It came with one, but it said take it off when you got it. So mix this up for about 3 minutes and I'll get back to you. Alright, I think that's been about 3 minutes, so we are going to try this. I went ahead and put a baby wipe underneath, just in case it leaks. I pray it doesn't. I'm a little bit nervous. Make sure the clips look like they're pretty tight. Alright, here we go. I'm going to kind of hold this a little bit. Wow, that worked about perfect. About just enough. So if you use it this size, if you end up buying these, so I did 51 grams. I'm sorry, 51 milliliters. So if you end up buying this mold, I did 51 milliliters each part, 51 milliliters A and B. Now, I think you have to measure it in grams, according to what I just read. So I'm hoping this will be enough. I'm assuming so if they sell the same mold. So these are by less resin. So I'm guessing they wouldn't have you make a mold housing smaller than what you can measure. All right. Then we wait. I think I'm about out. I'm hoping this covered it. I didn't quite get the tip of it, but I don't feel like mixing anymore. Let's see what they say about the bubbles. So here's the directions. After you mix the silicone, seal it and store it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Then let it continue to cool. It says, put the silicone in a vacuum machine for bubbles and discharge. Wait for the vacuum machine air pressure gauge to be pointer. Okay, so I don't have a vacuum. If you do not have a vacuum, when stirring, you can try to stir in a gentle, uniform direction so that the generation of bubbles will be much less, waiting for the bubbles to escape naturally. I'm just going to hit the side a little bit. That's what you do with resin. Get the bubbles to go to the top. It says to store in the refrigerator, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Higher temperatures will cause bubbles, so that's good to know. So don't try to heat it up. Low temperatures will slow down the curing speed and leave enough time for the bubbles to escape. So it's kind of cool in my room, so that maybe will help. Make sure to decast the bubbles first if you want to heat cure the liquid. All right, so we're going to wait and hopefully this works. I hate to do this. I don't want to lift it up. I was going to lift it up and but I think the tape would come off. I think there's got to be a better tape for this. I believe next time I'm going to use just some masking tape. I think that'd be a little bit stronger. This tape don't seem very strong. So we will see. All right. I'll see you next time. All right, so I am sorry, but that first step did not work. It started leaking on my table. So I've been trying to do some troubleshoot. So I just took some hot glue and put plexiglass under here because it started leaking. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Hopefully I can peel this off. Because the tape, I even used packing tape, tried to do that, it didn't work. So, and besides that, this started floating up. So I've got to hurry up and work with this. That's what made me start looking at it, is it started floating up. They make it look too easy on the video. Their description for this. This mold housing does not work well with tape. All right, so I'm going to take this out. Got my hot glue gun on. Take out the acorn, wipe it off. Put some hot glue at the end. I know you can do it sideways, but I don't want to do it sideways. I want to do it standing up, just like if I were to do a shot glass, which that was going to be my first project on this. So I'm going to put some hot glue at the end of this. I actually might spray some alcohol on it because it doesn't seem like all this glue is coming off. So I got a little spray bottle. Clean it off a little bit better. Yeah, it's coming off much better than a baby wipe. All right, we're going to try this again. So I got the plexiglass underneath this. I bought that at Hobby Lobby, I believe, for like $2 for a big sheet. Put a little piece of hot glue in there. Put it straight down. Hold it for a minute. Hopefully it will not shift up like it did before. I do not think double-sided, and it could just be because of what I'm using, because this is the end of a acorn, which has a lot of ridges. It's not a flat surface. I don't know if that's why it started popping up. Try this again. Pray it doesn't come out again. And I may have to mix some more. This is going to be an expensive little mold by the time I get done with it, unfortunately. Alright. So I'm going to mix some more and I'll get back to you. Alright, so I mixed 38 and 38 grams this time. And I am not sure if this is going to hold. So far he's not moving. So that's what I'm worried about, is him moving. So we're going to let this sit. And hopefully it will work this time. So what I done different is instead of putting tape underneath, I moved to the plexiglass and hot glued it all the way around to stop any leakages. And I took a hot glue at the end of the acorn and put it upside down and stuck it to the plexiglass. And so far it's doing a lot better than what we did the first time. I see the bubbles are slowly popping. I'm going to kind of blow on it. You don't want to use heat, it says, because it'll make more bubbles. So it's not like resin where you're going to use heat to pop the bubbles. Just kind of let it do its job. And hopefully I'll get an acorn out of this, because I've used almost half the container of both of the silicone. So this is going to be a kind of expensive mold. I'm not sure what I paid for the silicone, but you know, you always have trial and errors, and hopefully I'll get it right next time without making any mistakes. All right, we'll get back to you when I demold this. All right, I am back to demold this. So that came out perfect. I have the hot glue. So I guess you just take these apart. So the plexiglass seemed to have worked. It didn't leak very much at all. Oops, scared. Ooh. Oh my goodness. So that's pretty cute. Now to pop this baby out. I may have to cut around the edges here because I can see it's kind of closed up. And they do say to do that. Just take my time. think part of this is that hot glue that's on the top. Scrape some of that off. You're supposed to use a double-sided tape, but I did, after the epic fail in the beginning, I just decided to hot glue it because I knew that would hold it. I don't want to cut too much. I'm just going around and pulling around the subject, which is the acorn. Try not to rip it. Oh, I see light at the end of the tunnel. It's. I was gonna make a comment, but I probably shouldn't. Oh my goodness gracious. I did 3 videos yesterday, so that's why I'm a little. Oh, hopefully I didn't need that part. I'm getting them. Oh, shoo. All right. So there is the inside. And it's pretty square. Looks pretty good all around. Could clean it up in a few spots. I am gonna kind of straighten this part out, the top. But I don't want to cut inside because you can see inside, you can see these ridges all the way around at the top, and the bottom part is more smoother. So I'm actually going to try to put some resin in here, maybe color it brown and black, and see how it looks. But I'm going to clean out the inside first because there is a lot of pieces of the acorn in here. Well, at least I got it out. But so far it looks pretty good. I got plenty of room right there. I covered it enough, the point. I could have done it the other way, I'm assuming. But I figured if I poured it, I wanted this part to be a different color. So it is upside down, so technically I should have done it the other way. Because then this part would have been at top and this would have been down at the bottom, and I could just pour black up to that rim. But now I can actually see it, so it's really not bad. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but the smooth part is at the bottom, and the top of this part, it's at the top. So I'm going to do like a light brown at the bottom and then a black or a darker brown and see what that works. So maybe we'll actually try that out after I clean it. So I'm going to fast forward and clean this real quick, and then we'll put some resin in it and then see what it looks like after we demold it. right, I'm done mixing. And I couldn't find any black mica powder. I think I'm out. So I'm going to use like a ginger for the top. And I got these 2 little measuring cups. It's not going to hold a whole lot at all. So I'm going to do the bottom first. I'll probably use this for something else I was working on. So I'm going to try the bottom with a low, just real 1 little drop. It's going to be pretty shimmery. It's called Aloe Rose. I'm just going to stir it up and see what it looks like before I pour it. Wow, you don't need a whole lot at all. Now it's still a little bit clear, so let me do 1 more drop. That should do it. And I just kind of eyeballed what I needed. And see the consistency. If it's clear, kind of do this. You can see through it. Add some more. Keep stirring it up. You can also let this resin right here just sit for a minute. Let the bubbles come to the top. I like to use my favorite, which is alcohol spray. I barely ever put heat on resin anymore. This is like a really big project, but I usually, for the most part, just use alcohol spray. It helps with the bubbles. And with this being alcohol in here, it will help with the bubbles. Because there's alcohol in the ink. So I don't even see any bubbles in here. I think it's pretty good color. Might be a little see-through, but we're going to sit here and we're going to pour this in the bottom until we get to the top about right here. You see inside it has the top of the acorn, a little rigid piece. And this acorn is bigger than I have anticipated because it's still only about half full, so I have to mix some more. So that was about 3 drops. That's the bad thing about doing this and you don't know what you're mixing, because now it's going to be probably darker in one spot. But hopefully I can get it all mixed together. And I just did the wrong color. Good to know. All right, that was for the top. Good thing I caught that. I'm like, that looks a little bit darker. So that is going to be cool for the dark. That is a beautiful color. I used to use them on my tumblers. I used to make these really cool guitar. I had like the guitar strings on the tumbler, but I would do it in a bark type effect, and you use like it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. I'll have to do a video on that. I actually miss doing those. Now that I know how to work with resin better, when I was making them before, the tumbler would get way too much resin on them, be chunky, and I didn't want to sand them. Half of them I threw out. But now I know how to do it in thin layers, even if it takes me 5 days to get it right. All right, let me go ahead and put that in here. The other one starts to set. Wow, this is just about enough. Actually, I'm gonna sit here for a minute. It's actually to the top of that little ridge, that where we need to put the dark color in. And I'm sitting here thinking, if I mix it now, I probably should have waited, because it's probably going to blend together and I really don't want that. So I might let it thicken up for a minute. Stir this up so those two colors get mixed well. Since I did do it in 2 parts. So I don't need any more of that, looks like. But I definitely could have done this in 2 parts. But I'm behind on video, so I'm just probably going to wait. Click this, do this. Hit the sides. I actually think that's going to be pretty if it works out. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. Because I really think next time I should put, if I do this again, put the acorn standing up, so when I flip it over, that part will be at the bottom. Instead of me having to peel all the way around it, I could have just peeled around this part, if that makes sense. So I originally put it in the mold down like this. And you see how it came out when you flip it up. It came out like this. So when I pour it, it's going to come out like this, which I don't like, because it actually, one of them had a point, which I thought would be cool. I was going to do a smaller one with a point. And so technically, you're going to have to put it in this way, in the housing. So put it this way instead of this way. So say that's the housing. I got a mess over here. I really don't want resin on here. Well, actually, this is I can throw this plexiglass away. Of course, I don't have a garbage bag in there. So technically, next time I will put it up like this. That's one thing I do have trouble with, deciphering which way something goes. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Some molds, like the ornament molds that I have, you can kind of tell which way is the front, and that's basically face down. So same with coasters, you want to put the flowers upside down versus up. All right. So I'm going to mix something with this, because I know I'm not going to need any more of this clear. For the back of my ornaments, they have a little ridges, so I just want to put a little clear coat on top. I'm going to reuse this. So I'm going to let this sit for a minute, and then I will get back to you. So I don't want to add it right now, because I want to let this get a little bit harder. Make sure that's the ginger. So this is ginger. These are by Ranger. I love these colors. It's been a while since I've used them, actually. I'll have to make some more stuff with them. I've had them forever. So before I put the cap, so before I poured this in to make the cap of the acorn, I'm just going to let it sit for a minute, and I'll get back to you. And I'm going to pour it to the top, because the acorn does have a round part to it. So I'm going to fill it all the way to the top so it doesn't have a flat head, if that makes sense. Hopefully I'll be able to get it out of the mold. And I have some extra, so I went ahead and got some more left, so I got some of my necklace molds. I have the charms that will fit in this, skip that one, this and this. I have the sheet. I usually have a black marker on here, but it must have came off. So I did get 2 of these. And these will tell you which ones fit in the charms that come with the molds. But they're pretty nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in some of these. These you just pull them out, and then I got a little bit coming out. Take some of that out, which is good because I needed some more for this. I just hope the colors don't blend together because I think it's going to look really pretty if they don't. Cool to have acorns for projects. Maybe do an acorn tree on a canvas. Just do different colors. And yes, I should have wore gloves. I didn't know. I ran out, so I have to open a box. Alright, so I'm going to spray some alcohol. Get the bubbles to come to the surface, and we are done with this video. And I'm going to wait a while to demold this because it is more liquidy because of the alcohol inks, in my opinion. So I don't know how long it's going to take to cure. Plus I'm back about 2-3 videos now. So I'm going to go ahead and edit all of them. And then we will demold this in a couple of days. Thank you for watching. All right, we are here to do the unrevealing of the acorn DIY silicone mold that I made. And I put my resin in the last part of the video. So let's see what it looks like. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Look, that looks like, oh my gosh. I wish I didn't throw the other part away. Did I? Oh my, I can't even, look at this. Except for the top here. I need to shave that off or something, but this looks like a real acorn. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, it feels like an acorn. I can't even describe this. Wow. That is simply amazing. I'm squeezing it. It's hard as a rock. Like an acorn. So I just need to get this top piece off because evidently I don't need to fill it all the way. So I shouldn't have filled it all the way to the top. But let's see. I actually changed my blade. Remember the other day we were using my blade and it was dull to clean off the top of the mold up here. Well, I changed my blade, so let's see if I can do this. Hopefully I don't cut my mat. This is a brand new blade. I don't know if I can get this off. Oh my gosh. It's like I found the golden acorn. Like, I can't even describe. The colors are amazing. So I had to use ginger, the Ranger ginger, and the other one, I can't remember. I'll have to put in the links to everything I used, but wow. I mean, it even looks like that you can pull this off, but you can't, obviously. Like, this is simply, this worked. So this stuff, this mold, even though I had a lot of troubleshoot with it, how to put the little mold housing unit together without everything spilling out. I got through it. I kept at it. So, and here's the leftover resin. So these are pretty. I used for some charms. So I just used E6000 and glued them into the, this one got a little warped. I think because I tried to check it out. So I might not use that one, but this one is beautiful. Anyways, let's try to get this off of here. I'm kind of scared I'm going to cut my mat. Wow. So I just didn't need to fill it all the way to the top. I don't know how else to get this off. Actually, you're supposed to cut away from you, but to me, it's harder to do. You know, I could just sand it. I want it to look like a real acorn. I show it to somebody, I'll say, hey, look, I found in the yard. I'm going to do that to my husband tonight. I said, look what I found in the yard. This is actually where I got the acorn I used in the mold to make the mold was in our yard. So this is amazing. And I could probably have done, honestly, a bigger mold and did a whole bunch of different size acorns. That way I don't have to do one at a time if I were to make something. But I am very impressed. I can't even describe the texture of this. It's rough. This is smooth and has the little indents of the acorn, has the little point of the acorn. Like, this truly turned out amazing. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna have to get off of here because I got so much more videos to do, and I'm sure you're probably bored at this point. I'm sorry for such a lengthy video, but like I said, I was had a big mistake, and I hopefully you'll catch that from the description that I had a mistake. Not to follow me at the beginning. If you do that, just go ahead and watch the whole video or fast forward to, I think it's 17 minutes, and it'll show you how to actually put the resin mold housing unit together with the plexiglass. I guess it's what it's called, or acrylic glass or something. I got it from Hobby Lobby for like $2 for like a 8x12 or something sheet. And I've got a lot left. I just cut a little piece to go under there. And you probably could reuse it because I used hot glue, but I just threw it out. But it's looking better. It is looking better. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. All right, I'm gonna get back to my other videos. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to get more content. Also, if you want, you can buy me some coffee to help keep my YouTube channel alive, so I can buy some more products. So right now I'm gonna have to be on hold for buying stuff, so I'm gonna have to use whatever I got to make the rest of the videos, because it does get expensive, but it's something I really, really enjoy. Yep, I'm getting it off. So this is, oh wow, okay, it looks like wood. Oh my goodness, I could do some logs. Oh boy. All right, I better get off. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.